Welcome back to Tyre View, and today we're looking at the difference between all-terrain tyres and mud-terrain tyres on the sand. And we've actually luckily got two exactly the same Hiluxes running exactly the same height and width tyres. The only difference is that one has mud terrains and the other has all-terrain. So we're just going to go for a little bit of a drive and actually subjectively tell you how different we feel about the tyres. And while we go for that drive, I've actually got David here from Performance Driving Australia, who's going to just give us a little bit of an idea as to why these tyres might be a bit different. So let's go for a drive. So we're now in the car with the all-terrain tyres. We're just going to go for a little drive. What sort of differences should I be feeling with this?
We feel that the car sits up on the surface pretty easily, pretty quickly, especially in this still quite thick sand.
Yeah.
It's been cut up a little bit by
somebody's been driving around here
today. And you'll find that the car, even though it pushes a little bit in this soft stuff, still will turn without you having to fight it too much.
Yeah.
As you dig into trenches, you'll find the sand pushes against the sidewall. It makes the steering a little bit heavy, but you just push past that and use a little bit of throttle as well.
And it's certainly not hard to drive around.
No, at these pressures, it should be pretty easy, provided you keep momentum.
Yeah. But even coming to a stop. And so we're in some pretty soft sand here that hasn't been tracked recently. And I'm going to floor it.
That's it. It lifts up pretty easily, pretty quickly.
That's right. Wow! It's a bit bouncy there.
That'll be your last tracks.
Yes. So, should we go out and try the empties?
Let's do that.
We'll just drive up. So, we're now in the car with the mud terrain tyres, MTs. Got to start the car. I'm going to go power mode, same as we did before.
Exactly the same as we had it before.
That's right. We're in drive, so we're going to get going. But even straight away I can notice it's not driving as easily. So what should I be seeing in this one?
I think you'll find it a little bit more hesitant to turn. So you turn into here, you'll find.
Yeah, it feels like I'm on. Actually,
you've got to use more steering angle and more throttle to get it to turn.
Yeah, it feels like I'm actually sort of drifting it more.
Yeah.
So that's.
Then it gets a bit hard to know where your wheel is, like that.
Yeah.
Where you're steering, so you've got to have a little bit more concentration on it. It doesn't quite sit up. You can feel it bog down a little bit more.
Yeah.
You see what happens when you come to a stop.
Yep. So we'll stop here.
There's a flat bit here.
Again.
Make sure your wheel's straight ahead.
Wheels straight.
Yep.
And we're going to go foot flat to the boards like
Let's
we did
do
before.
that.
Okay, ready?
Yep. Already felt it sink down, and on the first movement it went down versus forward.
Exactly.
Now we've got our bumpy bit again. Whoop. Another shake up lunch.
Yes. So it's just not as pleasurable a ride.
No, it still works.
I mean, that's right. It's still, we'll get there.
And if you're cautious about your line and keep your momentum up, they work fine. Just not as comfortable, is it?
No. And it also, I feel like it actually comes to a stop a lot quicker as well.
Yep.
Because it's really biting in, which I suppose is a good thing.
Probably sits a little bit lower in the sand all the time, and those tyres are designed to dig and get grip, so on a surface like this they'll do that, but that's a bit counterproductive.
Yeah, interesting. Cool. I'll just go and sum up. So David, we've just been for a drive around on both these tyres, all-terrain tyres and mud-terrain tyres on sand, and the all-terrain tyres were obviously better. So why is that?
I think a lot of it's to do with the fact that the block size is different. It carries across the face of the tyre a lot better with less size gaps, smaller size gaps in there. So the tyre tends to sit up on the surface. The car rides on the surface much like a boat does on the top of the water. Makes the thing balloon out much better, carry more surface area on the sand.
Yeah, okay. And just makes for a more comfortable ride, and we went through the deep soft sand much easier. So let's go across and look at the mud terrain tyres. Now, these are a lot more aggressive.
A lot more aggressive. They're designed to release a lot of water and a lot of mud if you're going on muddy trails, bog holes, mud ruts. These work very effectively to act as little walls to grip and clear out. They still work quite effectively in this sand, but nothing like as good as an AT in our experience today.
Yeah, so they're actually digging into the sand.
Correct.
And also, the MTs are actually a much stronger build than the ATs, which means that they're not bagging out as much. They're not presenting as much of a face to the sand.
That's it. So the surface area is a little bit different. It takes a bit more work to get them to balloon out in the same manner as an AT does.
So you're just not going to get that flotation that you do on sand.
Correct.
As you do with the all-terrain tyre.
That's right.
So, I mean, I guess that's probably the summation of this video, is that if you're talking about a tyre specifically for driving on sand, the all-terrain tyre is actually going to be better because it's a little bit cheaper. It's going to be quieter on the road. It's going to be safer on the road a little bit because it's going to be more easily controllable. It's not going to be, hang on, is that?
No, that's probably
that's
about
true.
right. That's probably about right.
We'll keep rolling.
It's a better road tyre.
It's a better road tyre. Whereas these are going to be a little bit more ornery, they're going to be louder, and they're going to be more grumpy, but they are better on trails. So, if you're looking for a tyre to drive on sand with, go the all-terrain.